It's you guys holding the 2 of 9 shooting. What went wrong defensively so much?
I feel like we didn't get into a rhythm defensively. Our defense was atrocious. We didn't guard anyone, but all credit to Indiana because they were able to execute and do whatever they wanted. Finney played a great game for them. He just controlled the game. He got them into whatever they wanted to get to.
You're the right.
Why was Indiana able to get to the rim so easily and kind of get past your pressure defense? That hasn't happened too much before this year.
I mean, the only answer I give it to you is so he wasn't locked in. From the jump, we didn't play well defensively. We let them run whatever they wanted to run. We didn't run back on defense. We didn't play with no urgency.
Against a team that still has a lot to play for, too. It's got to kind of work through all of that on Sunday.
I mean, as long as there's games on the schedule, we got.
Bobby in the middle. And then Mariah.
Iowa, this is your last home game of the year. Just assess yourself for the season, how you felt you did.
I thought I played well. Me being a freshman, of course I had a lot of ups and downs, but I felt like that I took the good with the bad. I never got too high, never got too low. I always know what I can do, and always want to play to my abilities. But my teammates, they did a great job, of just taking me under their wings and just, helping me become a leader and helping me show what I can do because, it's my first year. So I think I played pretty well. Some things, of course, I know I could work on, and, I'm just try to work on them.
Indiana coach just said you're going to be a star in this league as long as you stay. The question, of course, is how long is that going to be?
Right now, I'm just trying to focus on my team and trying to focus on the game against Penn State, of course, try to, keep playing as hard as I can for the rest of the year and just let that stuff take care of itself.
Offensively, you guys shot pretty well, 50% for the game, but you only finished with 74. There's a little bit of struggle sometime there in the second half. Do you guys think that was more of a problem of shot selection or shots weren't falling or what?
That was just us not doing our job on defense and letting it carry over to the offensive end.
Aaron, last time at the State Farm Center tonight, obviously not the way you wanted it to go. I know you said earlier this week it hadn't really hit you. What's going through your head right now after walking off the court?
Well, at first, definitely, frustration just because, losing the game. And, a game like this, just knowing what's at stake at the end of the season. But, just a lot of the memories and how far this team has come, together. We've been through the ups and downs, and we just got to keep going and deal with what's in front of us.
I guess for either of you, what's different about this recent few game stretch that you guys don't have now that you had during that 4-game win streak?
I'd say mentally we have to be better. It's the Big Ten. It's a long season. These guys, everybody's going to scout. Everybody's going to change game plans. We got to lock in that category.
And coaches may talked a lot about teams wanting to be at their best, heading into the Big Ten tournament, and it's coming up next week. Is this game a concern? Maybe that it was a step back, late in the season.
No, not a concern, because we know exactly what we need to do, and as team, as players, as us two as leaders, we're going to go back tomorrow and we're going to get it together, and then we're going to come out in Penn State and get us a win.
Aaron, again, congratulations on an incredible career. You spoke a little bit about how you saw the team progress. The way that it's going now, how do you think, what do you feel about the future of Illinois basketball?
Big things are definitely on the way. A lot of good things because, this group of guys, they work. They're young, but they work. And they're going to continue to listen. They're going to continue to get better. I have nothing but praise for all of them. Moving forward from here, I'm expecting great things for them. That's about it.
Joey?
This is, obviously your first season, first time through the ropes here. How do you get, as a leader of this team, how do you get them back to where you guys were in this last regular season game and ahead of the tournament? What do you have to do?
I feel like we got to look in the mirror, take our own medicine, and we got to be able to be accountable and be able to be able to be criticized because, of course, that's what we need. We just need to just sit down and just talk about what we did wrong. And like I said, just accept the good with the bad because we know what we can do. We've proven that. So hopefully, this loss here just shows that, really after Sunday, the next loss, you done for, 6-7 months. So it's just about the urgency we got to play with and how much longer do you want to continue your season to go.
Isaac.
AJ, how tough is that matchup with Juwan Morgan? Like, what does he do that makes it hard for you guys to shut him down?
He's a great player. Just everybody defensively being on the same page, helping each other out. We had a lack of that tonight, not executing our game plan. He's a great player.
Eric? You talked about having that urgency. Do you feel like you guys kind of lacked that kind of sense of urgency here tonight?
Of course. A blind man could have saw that.
Rob?
Aaron, do you know how many family you had, and do you know who they all were? There were a lot.
Yeah. A lot of my family from New Jersey, Georgia, friends from Indiana, people from all over the state came here tonight for me, and I'm thankful for that. I'm blessed that I have that support system because without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Without them, I wouldn't have got through these 4 years.
Anything else for the players? All right. Thank you, man.
Well, when you shoot 50% from the field, 48% from the three, and you're at home, you got to like your chances. And couldn't be any further from the reality of how important the other end of the court is. Give Indiana a lot of credit. They brought a fight tonight that was pretty evident. 52-26 points in the paint, and we had a lack of mental preparation, I guess. We started off in a three-quarter court press that we didn't get into the first 5 possessions, and that's all we've been working on. I'm blindsided by this, just simply because Tuesday, I couldn't have told you if it was the 106th practice of the year. I couldn't tell you if it was that or day one. We were energy. We were flying around. We were fabulous. Yesterday was off the chart. I don't know if it was all the emotion and the extracurriculars of senior night, but again, not many nights do we play and we have more turnovers than our opponent. Give Rob Fennessy a tremendous amount of credit. That young man is terrific. He kept the ball centered. He kept it in the middle of the court. Kept his dribble alive. I thought he was absolutely the biggest difference in the game, along with Juwan in the first half.
Questions? Jeremy?
Brad, your defense is so predicated on forcing turnovers. Just what were the biggest issues that you saw tonight from while you were in?
Well, it's not just forcing turnovers. It's just trying to take them out of what they want to do, and I mean, no energy. We talked about denying wings. We didn't deny a wing. We talked about we've always taken away touches at the high post. How many times did you see Juwan flash to the high post and make a catch? Even go back to the Penn State game. I mean, those guys didn't make the catches there. We just had a complete lack of energy. It was like we were, like we were a cell phone and we were running. That light comes on and says low power. That was us all night. So,
Joey.
Brad, is defense the biggest difference you see in your team now versus that win streak you guys put together earlier last month, or is there something else?
We guarded our tail off against Northwestern. Northwestern was our best defensive game of the year. It was tonight. I thought was just a, we have issues. Big mobile power forwards have hurt us. But that wasn't even the problem tonight. It was more the fight.
Isaac.
Brad, Io said that he didn't feel like you guys were locked in from the beginning. What do you think is this a team still trying to find itself for a little bit, or what?
Well, we're 31 games in. We're not trying to find ourselves. We've shown that. I mean, we'd won the last half of Big Ten play. We've been pretty good. I think this is an abnormal performance, something we haven't been very accustomed to. Penn State beat us. I mean, but it wasn't where we were horrible in that game. But this one was just frustrating from the energy standpoint.
Coach, Georgie finished with 15 points, but still it seemed like he left a lot out there on the board. Maybe he could have played a little bit better. It seems like he's been in a little bit of a rough patch offensively lately. What do you speak a little bit more about that?
Sick. Georgie's had a sinus infection for a week, 10 days. He hasn't felt great. I know how that is. He was in and out of practice yesterday, having a hard time breathing. He had shorter stints with that. He left some out there tonight. He missed 3 or 4 layups, and then all of a sudden, he's got 20 and shot 80%. So, he still shot 50%, and again, we go 33 of 38 from the free throw line the other night. The big mental thing that I always can tell your team about is now we're 12 of 22. We missed 10. We're the same guys that stood up there and made 80% the other night.
Right. When you have a game like this, totally abnormal, do you break it? Are you going to break it down on film, go over that, or are you going to flush it and move on? I mean, how do you?
Well, in most cases, we're going to break this thing down with a really, really quick turn. It'll be all Penn State tonight. I'll watch the game. And we'll have a really quick segment tomorrow, probably 8 to 10 clips of what we didn't do, and then it'll be on to Penn State.
Bob.
Coach, this is Io's last home game for the year. Just assess him for the season. Coach Miller just had some nice things to say.
Well, it's nice of him. I mean, Io's had a great year. I mean, he's been as good a freshman as there's been in this league. He's a guy that's came in with a big reputation, and I think he's more than lived up to that in every facet. And you start talking about a kid who's the fun part for me is I've seen him improve so much, both ends of the court, and he's been spectacular this year.
Coach, I know you talked a good deal about Aaron Jordan this week and what he's meant to this program. How disappointing was it just with the performance tonight and the way his home career ended?
It's always disappointing, not just for him, for everybody. I think that you always want to have a fond memory of your last one, but that's doesn't always work that way. And senior nights are hard. Senior nights are really, really difficult, and they stir a lot of emotion. Aaron was extremely emotional before the game in the locker room, even during the pregame talk. So having to turn a switch and get back up and get jacked up is not an easy thing.
Derek.
Coach, from your vantage point, has Trent's ankle impacted his defense, his mobility, anything like that?
I don't know. I think Rob Finney was really good tonight. I think that it's when we get in trouble is when we get hugged to our man and not given support and given gaps. They isolated him 3 or 4 times. The kid made shots. I thought Trent was solid, but I don't think anybody was great.
Eric.
Coach, when Indiana was able to get into their sets and their offense, just how did you see your defense break down from that point on?
We didn't do anything we do. I mean, and it was hugging our man. It was, just our complete lack of execution. We went in with a mindset of how we were going to guard ball screens. The first half, we had one hard hedge in the first half. That's how we talked about handling Romeo on ball screens and not hedging him. And then we made the adjustment during the first half, do the same with Finney. And we didn't hard hedge one right. So that's just a lack of execution and frustrating.
Jeremy?
Brad, what's the effect of this 20-game schedule that you've seen so far now that you're one game away from finishing it? And do you think this is part of it on a young team is such a long Big Ten
I'm not going to use that as an excuse. The thing with 20 games long is a lot of games, okay? There's no doubt about that. And, when you've got the best league in the country, you got great coaches every night, you got great players. The only thing I don't like about the 20-game schedule, let's play them all in a row. I don't like playing 2 in December, and I thought I might like that. And man, when you've got ACC challenges and multi-team events, and then all of a sudden you jump into a league game, that's the one thing that I'm not a big fan of. But so be it. Everybody's got to play them.
Coach, following the theme of senior night, you have a very young team, but those 3 guys, specifically Drew and Aaron, have holdovers from the previous regime. Just talk a little bit about how their leadership as upperclassmen has made an impact on this team this year.
Well, there's a reason senior nights become hard, and that's something that I have tremendous appreciation. Aaron will always have a special place with me. His work, his dedication, his perseverance, those are all the things that you want it to be about. Drew's a guy that is a coach wearing a uniform, and he's got a great way about him. He's very popular with our guys. He echoes everything we talk about in practice. He's a high energy guy. He's passionate. Those 2 guys have been a big part of the culture of our locker room being established.
Scott,
where you might fall in the Big Ten standings is still up in the air, and Sunday's game still can have some effect. How does that put any extra importance on that game, or just how big of a deal is starting on Wednesday to you compared to starting on Thursday?
Bye's a bye, and it means one other day to prepare and get ready. Whenever we have to play, we're going to play. We're going to go out and try to beat Penn State, and we're going to go out and try to play better than we did tonight and continue to improve. And we haven't talked a great deal about any of that stuff. It's just let's keep it really, really simple. We're young. Let's look at the next game on the schedule and let's prepare the best we can. And that's going to be our challenge tomorrow. I'm not going to change from that.
You mentioned defending ball screens and hard hedging and things. It seems like there's been a few times lately when you've been beaten on the ball screen refusal by the guard. Is that the guard's play needing to force them into the ball screen?
It's communication. You have to. Our bigs have to call it so that we force them into the screen, and then hard hedge it, and then if that's our coverage. And Romeo had such good effect, or had so much success at their place. We wanted to make sure we got after him a little bit, especially to his right hand. And then we made the change with Fennessy as well. But when you flat hedge those, that allows the guard to have all the freedom in the world, and we didn't do a very good job tonight.
Right.
Excuse me.
Brad, is there a simple answer to get back to starting to string together wins, or how do you think you guys can go about doing that with the tournament coming up here?
Play better. We have a fine line in terms of if you don't play with emotion and you don't play with energy, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to lose. In this league, you are going to lose. The team that usually plays the hardest and with the most passion wins. And we're good enough to beat anybody. We've proven that. And when you don't do that, you go ask our guys if they had the same energy and passion they did tonight that they did against Michigan State. They didn't. And that's how mental this game is. It's not always physical. We just shot 50% and had one of our best offensive performances. It's a mental game about effort and energy, and tonight we were a little flat.
When you look at Rob Fennessy's game, what are the 2 or 3 things that jump out to you the most about him?
He's unbelievable composure. I saw them a little bit early, and before his concussion, and he never got rattled. There was very little emotion on him, but yet he was direct in traffic, and then his poise and want to take big shots. Very, very charismatic in terms of wanting that. you saw a big difference in their team without him than with him. And facing him for the first time, he's real deal. He's going to be a pain in the butt for 4 years.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.